Hey y'all, good Sunday evening. So, I got a chance to watch Housewives on tonight. And getting back to the conversation about Porsha and Shamea, I understand the fact that Porsha is going through a divorce and times are tough for her. But so is Shamea. Shamea's going through a lot of stuff too. She's dealing with her baby, in and out of the hospital, her own personal issues. But it just seems to me that Porsha's self-centered about this situation. It may not be she may not feel like this is the right time, but it ain't gonna never be the right time, quite honestly. Because like I said before, when it comes to Porsha, she doesn't want to hear the truth. She doesn't want to be at odds with anybody. She wants everybody to fall in line, okay? The problem is I'm having a problem. I'm breaking down. I'm going through this divorce. Now everybody's got to fall in line, You just got to deal with it. And she was just, to me, like Shamea said, being dismissive. It's like she didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with it because it's too much like dealing with the truth. And people don't want to hear the truth. They just don't. So they'll evade. They'll dismiss you. And I just feel like, and I'm not siding with Shamea, I'm just looking at the whole picture and the way everything has gone down, because I truly understand when you're under a lot of stress already, you really don't want to have those conversations. But she had the conversations with other people. She had the conversations with her mom. You are her best friend, so it shouldn't be uncomfortable for her to have that conversation with her friend about what is hurting her feelings and something that's been going on for a long time that she wants to address, not to attack you, but just make you aware of it, so possibly we can resolve it and move on. Now, I like the way it ended because Porsha said, okay, I don't want this. I don't want our friendship to be at odds and, not being friends anymore. She didn't want that. And I think that's true. I just think she just doesn't want to deal with the truth of what she's doing. She doesn't want to take accountability for her actions. She'd rather dismiss it and move on. Everybody just, deal with it and move on. But when it comes to other people, she ain't got, she wants you to fall in line and be sensitive to her feelings and what she got going on. But she was not sensitive to Shamea. She was dismissive. Now, if you want to be a good friend, you have to be willing to listen, to hear your friend, to allow her to express herself and really pay attention. Life just doesn't work like that. And I don't know if it's her mother that has done that with Porsha all of her life, from the time she was a child, was given into anything and everything that she wants. I don't know. But it seems that she has this problem with dealing with people, because even with Dennis. Look at Dennis. If you don't fall in line, then you gonna be reckoned with. There's some stuff you gonna have a hard time. Okay, I'm gonna give you a rough time because I'm not dealing with this. Not at all thinking about him and what's important to him. It's only about what's important to her and to her child. But everybody matters at the end of the day, and I just think she doesn't think that way. But I'm glad that at least Shamea got it off her chest, because I feel like Shamea been carrying this on in her heart and on her mind forever and a day, okay? And everybody been talking about it for a long time. So all this stuff about that people are saying about Shamea, everybody's seen it. everybody has seen what has gone on between them and how Porsha acts and how Shamea acts. And Shamea hasn't owned up to her feelings. Now, that part she is wrong about, because she should not have let that go on as long as it did. And then to bring it up at this point in time, when Porsha is already going through some things, okay. But yeah, poured the course because they on the show. Okay, so it got brought up on the show. So, of course, it stirred up those feelings in Shamea again. And here we are. So don't run from it. You can't run from everything. Sometimes you have to face things head on and deal with it, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to keep on going through the same old stuff. That's life with all of us. Until you are willing to acknowledge there is a problem, own your stuff, and then make up your mind how you going to deal with it and how you going to reconcile. Until you do that, ain't nothing going to change. Until Porsha is willing to listen and understand the point of view, Shamea's point of view, and be willing to do something honestly about it, not just speaking, just saying something just to get on out the way and let's get over this. No, there is nothing going to change. So anyway, I watched it, and then I still didn't see what she blew all up about when it comes to her mother, because I didn't see anything where Shamea said something ugly about her mother. She was just talking about the situation of the Porsha, her mom sharing with Porsha about to be careful with Shamea. And Shamea felt hurt by that. So you going all off and ready to act a whole fool over Shamea expressing her concern about how your mother is talking about her. And really, Porsha's mom is bringing division between them. I think she's the one. I don't think it's anybody on the cast that is bringing division between them. I think there's some talking going on in the background. Maybe, possibly, allegedly, because of whatever Shamea's mom did to Porsha's mom, they got their beef going on. So Miss Diane may feel some kind of way about Shamea, her mother, her family. So there's some conversation going on, and it's influencing Porsha. And some of that ain't influence on Porsha, because some of it is just Porsha's behavior, because she's probably spoiled and have always gotten her way. Anyway, I'm just rambling on, and I'm about to go to bed. So I just want to come on here and say that, okay? Just chit-chat a little bit. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening. Hey, I'd like to know your thoughts on what you think about tonight's episode and the sit-down talk between Porsha and Shamea. Let me know what you think. All right? Let's try to be nice and all that, I ain't really trying to be messy. I'm just want to talk about the things I see and all that. So like, share, follow, comment. Okay? Show your girl some love, okay? See y'all later. Bye.